Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Arlington Tiger football with night one of high school football. We've got the Arlington Tigers against the MUS Owls, and this is a game that we've been looking forward to, the first game under Friday Night Lights. Brent, we're going to go over the season recap of last season, all right? So what you got on Arlington? What'd they do last season?
So last year, Arlington didn't have an amazing year, finished 2-8 with a lot of tough losses. On the offensive and defensive side of the ball was a little bit of a struggle. Offensive had the battle for QB with Elvis Simpson and Grant Buchanan all year, so there was a little bit of a struggle, but hopefully getting back on track this year.
Yeah, Adion, what do you think they struggled with specifically?
I think they struggled specifically with having diverse plays, and once again, like Brent said, the battle between quarterbacks, Grant Buchanan and graduate Elvis Simpson.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'll pick up off that. Play calling was a big issue last year. Vic Shivers came in to what had been a successful high school football team, but he changed up the dynamic, right? He changed up the formations they were running almost every single week, and it took what was a successful football team and changed it up and made it worse, right? So I'm looking forward to see what Tommy Miller can do under this new head coaching staff, especially for Arlington. So, Brent, as we move on, what do you think we need to emphasize specifically as we go into this game?
Like I mentioned, I think Grant Buchanan and the Arlington offense is going to be a huge part of their success this year. Obviously, I mentioned that their defense was a little better last year than their offense, ultimately just overshined by a bad offense. There's a lot of new players coming into this team this year, so they're really going to have to get Grant Buchanan under center and getting work in and getting them all connected and as a team unified if they want to win a bunch of games this year.
What do you think they need to improve on?
I think they just need to improve on their plays. Like I mentioned earlier, they had a lot of running plays last season, and I feel like diversifying it by adding some passes and stuff and just expanding their horizons would really help the team out.
Yeah, absolutely. Expanding the arsenal is exactly what they need to do, and it would probably sound like a broken record at this point, but we need offense, right? We need offense because the defense was solid last year, but it always built out the offense, right? It was always on the field, and the more it was on the field, the more we tended to struggle because they were getting so tired. So I think that's something we need to do. The offense needs to stay on the field for more than 5 minutes so that the defense can do its job as well. So as we wrap up almost, what is your key player, Brent? Who are you looking at this game that really needs to step up?
I mentioned him a couple times. Grant Buchanan is going to be my key player for this game. He's a senior quarterback for Arlington High School, and just a couple stats for you. He threw for 140 yards and had 180 rushing yards to go with 3 touchdowns last year. So he didn't have too much experience in the pocket, took over for Elvis at the end of the year, but I think there's a lot of promise there, and if we can get his arm going and get some touchdown plays running, the sky's the limit for this offense.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that,
Carter Wood.
Yeah, Carter Wood will be my key player today. He's a senior linebacker for Arlington, and he rarely makes a bad call. He's always ready for the play, and also he's like very diverse in what he can do. He's good at blitzing, and he can also play good coverage.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll pick up off of that and say somebody that sort of plays like Carter Wood, and that's going to be Striker Aiken. He plays for the MUS Owls. This guy stands at 6'1". He's 210 pounds, which is relatively big for a guy in his senior year of high school. He's actually a former Tiger and Bobcat at Arlington, along with many other MUS Owls that currently play on this team. They left to join this team, and I really like him because not only is he good on the line of scrimmage, he does all these stunts to try to get around other defensive linemen in order to wreak havoc on the line, but also he's great in coverage, sort of like Carter Wood. He really never makes a bad decision. He's one of Commercial Appeal's top linebackers in the city this year, so I look forward to see a good game from him. So speaking of good games, who you got winning it, Brent?
I'm going to have to go with the Tigers at 21-17 tonight.
What you got, Adion?
I'm also going to go with the Tigers, seeing how a lot of MUS's best players graduated last year, and we have a new direction for the team, so also.
Yeah, absolutely. I know MUS should win this game, but I've also got Arlington. This needs to be a game that we win. MUS, this is labeled as their reset season, all right? So I think Arlington's going to really pick up off of that. All right, that's going to end it for the pregame show. We are now going to toss you to a Blue Crew video, so here's a little bit about our student section.
I am a senior at Arlington High School. I'm mostly excited just to see how the football team has developed since last year and how the new coaching has come in to really help and just fix the team. I haven't really got a chance to speak with him, but just seeing and hearing the way he acts, I feel like he's very serious and really cares about the players and Arlington football as a whole. I think that Arlington football will be successful this year. I think we're going to have a lot of improvement from last year and last season, so I'm excited to see how we've improved. I think that his experience and how he really cares about the players is going to have a big effect on it all, and it's just, I feel like they're going to be more as a family, I guess you could say, and close, and that's really going to impact how they play. I'm very excited. We have a lot of big things and big plans coming up, and I just can't wait to go through with them and see how it all turns out. So this is my second year of my brother playing Arlington the first game, and I'm super excited. He always does his best when he plays against Arlington, and I can't wait to see how he does at the game and how he's going to be with his friends. He's grown up with all these kids at Arlington and played football with them their whole life, and I just can't wait to see how it's going to turn out. I definitely think most of us are just as excited as each other for this football season. We're all seniors, so I think we're really just trying to take it all in together, the last moments, like all the last together. And so we've done a lot of things to become closer and make this the best year possible for all of us. We're going to be putting out a bunch of stuff, and we plan on really encouraging everyone, including the underclassmen and also the seniors in our grade, just to keep that energy going, just like it was last year. It was a lot of fun last year, so we're trying to keep that going and get everyone just as excited about it, just like we are. Make sure you all come out to the games and support the Tigers because they need it, and it really is a fun experience. The more people there are, the better it is.
Arlington High School. As one of the premier high schools in the state of Tennessee, Arlington High School is proud to be a place for everyone. Whether it be an academic focus with more than 60 honors, AP, and dual enrollment courses, an exploration into the outstanding career and technology programs, becoming a playmaker in a top competitive sports program, or excelling in the second-to-none PAVE Fine Arts Academy. Learn more about Arlington High School at www.acsk-12.org.
The stage is set for the first week of high school football under Friday Night Lights. Tonight, the Arlington Tigers face off against the MUS Owls. In last year's season opening matchup, MUS dismantled the Tigers 39-10 on Owl turf. MUS boasts their strong defense and player development, while Arlington looks to showcase what second-year quarterback Grant Buchanan can do under new head coach Tommy Miller. It's the Tigers and the Owls next on AHS Tiger Life. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Arlington Tiger Football. This is the first game of the season, MUS versus Arlington on Arlington turf. Brent, I'm happy to be here. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling awesome. It's a new season. Finally, we get to reset 0-0 for everybody. Hopefully, it's going to be a fresh start for the Tigers as they take on the MUS Owls tonight. So I'm really looking forward to the season. Hopefully, it's going to be a great one, and I can't wait to get started.
Yeah, absolutely. And MUS didn't have a planned season that they wanted as well. They went 6-5. 1-4 in their division, so we're really going to see what they have this year along with the Tigers. The Tigers sticking with Grant Buchanan at the quarterback. What you got on that?
Yeah, Grant Buchanan, like we said in the pregame, he doesn't have too much experience, not a whole season at varsity yet, so this will be his first full season, hopefully under center and starting for varsity. So last year, again, I'll say it in case you weren't here, he threw for 140 yards, rushed for 180, and had 3 touchdowns to go with it. So all of us Arlington fans are hoping that we can really stack those numbers up and build a really good base around Grant Buchanan.
Yeah, absolutely. And MUS doesn't have much help either, losing 4 of their top receivers, their top running back, and their quarterback that is now enrolled at LSU. But we're going to kick off the game. We've got action from Arlington, Tennessee, as Arlington looks to return. And he's going to get tackled around the 30-yard line to set up shop for this Arlington Tigers team as we get into it. In Arlington, last year they had a very limited playbook as they decided to run the ball on almost every play. You lost John Davis, though, so that option is out the door.
Yeah, and one new running back will be starting this game for the Arlington Tigers. Jackson Hare is going to be making his first appearance as your starting runner back with Kylan Spears as the backup. So look to see him and see if they get him involved in the offense early.
Grant Buchanan hands it off to Jackson Hare early. MUS was all over it, though. That fast defensive line covered him up very quickly. Jackson gains 2 yards on the play. And you talked about Jackson. Jackson also plays outside linebacker, so we're really interested to see who's going to come in as the backup. We got Kylan Spears back there as well, so we'll see who decides to step up.
Yeah, there's lots of players on the Tigers offense that play both sides of the ball. Jordan Batts is another one that'll be switching from offense to defense as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of sets Arlington goes with the way the game goes.
Buchanan from the shotgun, and that is something that we saw last year. The incompletion looks like it was a complete misconnection between him and McKeel Larry, the senior wide receiver.
And it's already 3rd down, and like Jake said in pregame, we needed to get rid of the less than 5-minute drives, and we needed to get our offense to stay on the field and get a drive going for a touchdown. So far, it doesn't look like it's quite going to par, but it's also the first plays of the season, so probably getting out the jitters here for the Arlington offense.
Absolutely. MUS in a 3-man front right now, looking to drop 8 into coverage. We'll see how that plays against the pass. Arlington electing to pass. Grant in the shotgun throws it out to McKeel Larry. That is way over his head. That's going to be a turnover on downs. Arlington looking to punt.
And it was not a very good first possession for the Tigers. They did pass the ball a lot more than we're used to seeing, so maybe that's a positive sign. Don't get too worried yet, I would say. It's just the first possession. Again, jitters got to get out. It's the first Friday Night Lights of the season. Hopefully this defense can show us something special and get the ball back on Arlington's side.
Yeah, absolutely, and MUS doesn't have any experience at all on the offensive side either. Their starting quarterback is going to be number 12, Liam Shepard. He threw 7 total passes last year for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. Their starting quarterback actually went to LSU, so they actually had a really good quarterback last year, which probably led to 39-10 win when they played last year.
Yeah, and he's not the only guy that is coming back for this quarterback group. Actually, someone who threw more passes than him last year. Didn't have a TD, though. His name is Wilson LeMay. He had 79 yards but no touchdown, but it looks like Shepard's going to get the start for him. So we'll see how this offense fares once they get on the field.
Yeah, Shepard is definitely hungry, attending many Division I football camps over the summer to try to prepare for this Arlington team Week 1. It looks like he won the job, but we'll see what ultimately he has.
Yeah, and replacing a quarterback like Hamsley is going to be really hard to live up to that level of expectation. Going to LSU, a major SEC program who just won the national championship in 2019, is going to be really hard to make something better out of that. So you can see he's taking it seriously and really wanting to work on his game. So we're about to find out what he's got.
And Douglas Salatel, the newest Arlington Tiger, punts that one about 50 yards. That is such a good punt for the new kicker and punter, Douglas Salatel. We actually have a complete new kicking rotation other than Ethan Ford. We also brought in Chase Haskins, who is a senior soccer player. He's fantastic, so we'll really get to see that dynamic kicking game today.
Yeah, and it also took a nice Arlington bounce there for the first special teams possession of the game. Really nice kick there. Really looking forward to seeing what this defense has and seeing what the MUS offense is going to bring.
And MUS has yet to set up. Arlington supporting that 3-man front as well, going to drop 8. This is something that Tommy Miller did not change from last year. That's what Vic Shivers did as well. So we'll see how this similar sort of play style on the defensive side of the ball is going to affect them.
We'll see if we see any of those double-player offense and defense sets in here now because of the quick offensive possession Arlington had, looking to maybe make an impact on the ball here on the other side.
And it's going to be Liam Shepard, and that's going to be a false start on the offensive line by number 78, Nicholas Matthews, the senior. That is a bad mistake for the senior to start out this game.
Hey, man, and jitters go both ways. Obviously, he was really excited to get the first play into the season, so we can see that the Arlington players are starting to get the Blue Crew hype, excited for the season. We love having our Blue Crew, and it looks like the ball is moving now.
Looks like they changed it to offside, so that is going to give MUS 5 yards, going to lead them to 1st and 5 now on the 24-yard line. Liam Shepard again looking like a play-action set formation. 7 people on the line. They hand that off to number 9. That's going to be T. Perry, the leading running back from last season. He was actually the second-string running back last season. 57 carries, 258 yards on the season. He looks solid, and he looks like he's going to lead this running back corps.
and we're about to see a completely new offense from these MSU Owls. Like Jake kind of hinted at, they lost their starting quarterback, who was perfect for them last year, but on top of that, they also lost their starting running back and their 4 leading receivers from last year. So it's an entirely new group here on the offensive side of the ball for MUS.
And it looks like that's going to be another penalty. They're waving at MUS, but who knows at this point. Yes, and they are pointing to MUS. Looks like a false start. That's going to move them back to 2nd and 6, and that's a huge break for Arlington, giving up that offside in the beginning of the possession.
Lots of jitters here early. I've said it a couple times, but it looks like these guys are just excited to play. We're excited to call it. It's going to be 2nd and 7, actually. MUS takes a step back, and Arlington's ready to get back on defense.
Liam Shepard takes the snap. That's a pitch outside to T. Perry, but Arlington's all over it. That's going to be Jordan Batts and Carter Wood on the tackle. What a play for them in the backfield. That's going to set up 3rd down and 10. What a play by the Arlington defense.
And even though the Arlington defense was one of the better parts of the season last year, they didn't really ever have multiple lines of defense coming in once an offensive player would break the first tackle. Usually he'd be off and running for at least 10 to 15 yards. We saw 3 lines of defense there coming from the Tigers on defense, so that's a really good sign of what Miller has been doing with this defense.
Absolutely, and Arlington can afford to rush 3 because you've got the awesome outside linebackers in Jordan Batts, Jackson Hare, and Carter Wood.
And we talked about those flipped offensive and defensive players, Jackson Hare and Jordan Batts, in right now.
MUS throwing deep. That is going to be to his wide receiver. That's a catch for number 88. That's going to be William Taylor. Who knew that he was going to have an impact this game? He's a senior. What a catch. I don't believe he caught a pass all last year.
And Shepard kind of just threw that ball up in the air really, really early into the snap count. It felt like a prayer, really, and it just, cornerback wasn't ready for the ball to come to him. He's going to be ready next time for sure.
Yeah, Liam Shepard showing that arsenal, throwing off the back foot there. He placed it perfectly. It looked like William was not even ready for it, but he found a way to the ball. 2-back formation here for MUS. They choose to hand it off. That's a good run. He's breaking free. That's going to be number 3. That's Mekhi Shaw. The former senior reclassified down to become a junior. Actually ripped off an 80-yard touchdown run against Arlington last year on Owl turf. He's looking to make an impact this game.
Yeah, Jake, and I think that this defense had lots of trouble keeping their morale up last year when big plays and big drives were strung together. So it's going to be really important that, especially early on in this game, they keep their wits about them and just keep moving on to the next play and make a good defensive stop.
And already we're seeing how good this team can be even when they lose all those good seniors. Handoff again to Mekhi. Why not when he did what he did last time? That's going to be 5 yards. Arlington over that one, but still. A failed rush play even led to 5 yards. So this MUS team is moving right now.
And the MUS Owls are showing that they are not just the players that they lost last season. They have a new reloaded arsenal, and so far this game they're kind of having their way with this Arlington defense.
Arlington showing out well this game. Student section is hyped up. It's filled to the brim. We're ready for this game. Again, the 2-back set. It's been working for them. They hand it up. They fake the handoff, and Jordan Batts with the sack in the backfield.
Uh-oh.
Did he let go of it? No signal yet from the refs. What are they saying?
If this goes to Arlington's way, it's going to be a huge momentum boost for this offense.
It looks like they're going to take an official timeout. Who knows what they're doing right now?
What a wild play. As you take a look at this review again, the ball just can't really tell if it popped out or not at the end, but the Arlington players seem to think that it went their way, so it's going to be up to the officials' call.
It looked like the referees are going to say it's MUS ball, but either way, Jordan Batts with the first sack of the season.
And I talked to Jordan Batts earlier, and he promised me a sack this game, so there's number 1.
He hands it off, looking to get in good field goal position, but that is to no avail. He is tackled on the 42-yard line in no man's land. MUS looking to punt.
And I don't know if you guys can hear this or not, but it's something that I'm not really used to. The fans and the players on the sideline are going absolutely insane right now. Something that we haven't got to see in a couple months just because football's been gone and we didn't have a great year last year. But these fans, these students, and these players are pumped for this season.
Looks like you've got kicker Mekhi Shaw. This is not their punter. We could see something here. I'm just calling it. Just kidding. Mekhi's athletic. He can do whatever he wants. Good pick, good kick by Mekhi Shaw. That's going to land about the 20-yard line. Really confused there by that set. That is not their normal kicker, but Mekhi able to get him in 20-yard line.
Maybe trying to throw him off there with the potential of a quick play. They knew Arlington did their research, had him out there just in case they needed to pull something fast on them. Ultimately, I think it was a good call for MUS to kick that one away.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't want to force anything. And this offense for Arlington is basically returning almost everyone they had last year, other than Spencer Pruitt and Elvis Simpson. This is a rekindled offense that looks like it's going to be dynamic. You've got Gabriel Torres. I don't even know his 100 time. What do you know?
Gabriel Torres, my teammate on the track team, he's an outstanding guy, was hurt last season, but his sophomore year, he ran a 10.77 in the 100 meter, which, if you don't know what that means, it was good enough for what would have been 10th in the state this year for the state Tennessee track and field championship. So he's got some speed on him, and when he's not hurt, which he is not right now, if he gets loose in the backfield, I don't think there's anybody in this game that's faster than 10th in the state, so he's probably gone.
Yeah, absolutely. You cannot afford to give Gabriel Torres space. And also, they're going to implement this two tight end front. You've got Carter McKay, and you've also got Grant Roberson, two of the big tight ends. They're going to be used in blocking formations. It did not work very well on that first possession, but let's see how they can impact this next one.
I really want to see the passing options be expanded here by Grant Buchanan. Only look to McKeel on this pass possession. I really want to see him expand the options. Continue with the passing game because we need to see that. That needs to be something we need if we want to win games. But ultimately, they got to catch him, and we got to use our options to our advantage. Got lots of really athletic guys at the wide receiver spot, even at the tight end spot. So making sure we use that to our advantage is going to be key.
Arlington returning with Jackson Hare in the backfield. No Kylan Spears yet. Grant in the shotgun formation with Jackson Hare. He looks to hand off. After the first initial touch, he got a couple yards, but again, no movement there for the offensive line.
A good couple yards after contact there, something that's pretty promising to see considering John Davis was really good at that. So it's promising to see a guy like that break through some tackles. It's going to be, I believe, 2nd and 7 maybe going on to this next play.
Grant Buchanan, same formation, 4 wideouts. But again, they do it to Jackson Hare, who puts someone on his ankles, gets out to the 40-yard line. That's going to go for a 20-yard run for Jackson Hare. What a run for him as he continues to shine.
And that's the kind of play they needed, continuing to keep the student section entertained, continuing to keep the sideline upbeat and ready. I think that was a really good play, and that's going to be on the highlight reel for sure. A really good ankle breaker to start out your season.
The Owls lost McRae Dickinson last year, who led the team in tackles. Definitely missing him right now in the first couple possessions here in the first game. You got Grant, different formation here. Jackson Hare actually moves up beside him. They like this look as they give it back to him. Why not when he just had the 20-yard run, but that's to no avail. He gains 2 yards on the play.
Looking to see some passes, like I said a second ago. They're probably going to have to switch it up here because once you start getting to 4 or 5 times in a row of the same thing, defense is going to start to figure it out. So maybe switch it up here, get another play going, look at one of those receivers.
Jack Fortuz with the tackle there. He is a 6-foot, 178-pound linebacker. Not too big for this age. You got Striker Aiken at 210 next to him, but still a good tackle there. Grant fakes the handoff, looks to Carter McKay in the outfield. That's the wrong sport, but Carter McKay gets the first down past the 50-yard line. That is a completed catch. I mean, we haven't seen many of those. What a play.
And Carter McKay bulked up there to get the first down, saw how close he was to the line, put the shoulder down, rammed right into the defender and picked up a first down. And even though you said the wrong sport, outfield still qualifies, and that's a home run in my book.
Grant Buchanan with the fake pass gets about 5 yards there. And that's really all we saw from Grant last season. There was really no passing game available for them last year, but we got to see how he can be very involved in the replays.
And this is a very promising second drive start for the Arlington Tigers. We haven't seen them move the ball this well down the field in a really, really long time. So this is a really exciting and promising start.
And MUS came in boasting that defense. The second possession, that we haven't seen that. Kylan Spears makes an appearance. He's going to get the touch. Nowhere to go, though. He gets a couple yards, but again, that offensive line is just not succeeding right now and pushing them down the field, opening up lanes. So if you're Arlington, you've got to look into getting players in space in order to get more yards down the field.
Yeah, and I think the offensive line was one of the big issues for the Tigers last year when it came to that side of the ball. I think that they really, I mean, if John Davis would have got the line to block for him every play last year, he would have scored like 50 touchdowns because he's just that good. So I think really honing in on this offensive line is going to be huge.
Grant Buchanan back to pass. He doesn't like the look he's got, and that's going to lead to 4th down. He really decided there that he was going to run it very quickly. A little confused by that. May have been a design run, but either way, it's 4th down.
It's going to be interesting to see if Arlington decides to go for it here or if they're going to bring in their kicker. If I was Arlington, momentum's on my side. It's the first couple possessions of the year. I'm going for it, and it looks like they are, unless Grant decides to kick.
With the new play caller in Grant Buchanan and Tommy Miller, who knows if it'll work. Grant Buchanan back to pass, looking for a screen pass opportunity with Gabriel Torres, but that is knocked down by number 62, Dean Stutz. The junior, he was all over that one, batting it down with his hand, which gives MUS great field position at the 45.
And I think Arlington made the right choice there, deciding to go for it on 4th and 5. Momentum was on your side. You had to go for it there. Sad to see the drive in, but hopefully this defense can keep alive what they had last drive and make a really good stop here and give Arlington the ball back.
Yeah, and it's hard to really agree with something if it doesn't work. But again, Brent's right. When they got the momentum like that, who can blame them for going for it when you're in no man's land? And what happened there looked like a miscommunication. But as we figure out what's going on in the field, let's look at this student section, man. It's a whiteout theme here for the Arlington Tigers. They look like they are ready for this game. They have been so hyped so far. That's more students than we ever had last year. To see this many students out here, including all these freshmen, that's a promising future here for Arlington.
Yeah, and you know these fans were really excited to get back to 0-0. They wanted to see a promising start for their Tigers, and they're getting one so far. Better football than they played all year last season so far, so let's see if they can keep it going.
Hand off to T. Perry. That's going to get past the 45-yard line. T. Perry, the most consistent player on this offense that is returning other than wide receiver Joakim Dotson. We have not seen him at all. Look to get him in action. He was really their best player as a freshman last year.
Yeah, and T. Perry, he had 57 carries last year. He had 58 yards, to go with that. No touchdowns, though. He'll be a lot more involved this season, so hopefully he'll rack some of those up.
And MUS in no hurry here, looking to take their time on every single play, which you look at if you're Arlington, they get rest, but also MUS is having their will right now. Liam Shepard hands it off. That's going to be T. Perry again, gain of 3 on the play. That's going to be number 80. That's going to be Grant Roberson on the tackle. He's a tight end slash linebacker. Good to see him get in action.
Starting to get towards the end of the first quarter of action with just a little over 2 minutes to play. No one's really made a move into the red zone yet, so I'll be interested to see who's going to strike first, who's going to get the first points on the board.
Apologies, that was not Grant Roberson. That was Brock Flint. Pass out to 23. In coverage is Brady Garlock. He comes up with the tackle, but not before they get the first down.
Shout out to Brock Flint. He's going to be an insane football player one day. It's actually his first year ever playing football out of St. Louis. He never put on the pads, put on the helmet before this year. They found him. They asked him to play. He played, and we saw him at the JV game on Monday night. He was doing something special. I think he had 4 or 5 sacks, and they put him on varsity for a good reason, and you see him in right now.
They really love this I formation look as they hand it off again to T. Perry, who is chugging down 5 yards again. I mean, you look at this offense, they're not really having these big plays, but they're still going down the field, and Arlington doesn't look like they're stopping it.
Yeah, and Arlington, you can tell they're probably a little tired. The momentum, those exciting moments of right when the game started are wearing off, and it's time to start to get into like the nitty-gritty of the middle of the game here. And Arlington seems to be worn down a little bit. Hopefully they can keep it up, though.
Again, the handoff to T. Perry. He's getting a workload right now. Arlington all over it, though. Setting up 3rd down. That's going to be Brock Flint again. and number 52, Clark Tocroft, a senior lineman. Let's see what Arlington has here on third down.
Yeah, it's going to be 3rd and 2 here. Tigers on defense. 3rd and 3, excuse me. And it's going to be really, really important that they make a stop here and hold them to a potential field goal.
3rd and 1 here for the MUS Owls. This place is rocking. This place is hype. MUS can probably hardly even hear their coaches. Liam Shepard again from the I formation. They've got everybody on this line right now. And that's going to be an offsides penalty. You talk about how good Brock Flint can be, but he's still got that youth mindset, looking to do as much as he can, but that's going to lead to an offside penalty.
And yeah, I still love him no matter what you say. Still, I'll give the excuse of some jitters there. But yeah, it's a big loss for Arlington right there, giving up the 3rd and 3 and putting them at 1st and 10, almost inside the red zone.
And last year you saw that really mainly affect the Arlington offense. But it looks like the Arlington defense is just so ready to get these guys that it's leading to mistakes.
And we love momentum.
Again, the same formation as last play. Why not? Hand it to T. Perry. He's going to go all the way for the first Owl touchdown. That's going to be his first of the season. T. Perry with the 20-yard touchdown run. What a play by the Owls.
And didn't have a single touchdown last season, but he's got his first one in the closing seconds of the first quarter here, and they're going to be the first ones to score for either team this season. So Arlington's got to strike back after a really good touchdown by T. Perry.
And when you look at a game like this, when it's such good defenses on both sides, it's really the first one to score that's going to control the game. MUS gaining control right now. They've got all the momentum. Arlington is in desperate need for a score after one quarter went down and only 7 points are on the board.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say Arlington's too far behind. Yes, you're right that whoever scores first is ultimately going to take control in this game. But I saw a spark in the Arlington offense on that second possession of the game, so hopefully they can keep that going and work down the field for a touchdown.
Call 504-DUKE or email info@DukeInsuranceSolutions.com. Duke Insurance Solutions. Insurance made easy. Go Tigers.
Sorry for the audio issues here. It is a very loud stadium that's rocking right now. Arlington looking to get back on the board. They've got Jeffrey McCarter and Gabriel Torres back to return this ball. Two of the fastest guys on this Arlington team.
And it looks like MUS actually missed the extra point. So unless the scoreboard is wrong here, I didn't have a great angle of the extra point, but it should be 6-0. So Arlington still has a shot to take the lead here if they can score a touchdown. Maybe Gabriel Torres breaks free for a kick return here. And
hey, we'll see. He's definitely capable of doing it. As we get the kickoff, Jeffrey McCarter back to return at the 15. He's crossing the field looking to gain yards, and he does. Gets down to the 33-yard line. Great field position here for the Arlington Tigers as they look to set up shop.
And the first quarter is going to come to an end here, but I'm really looking forward. Good field position really for the Tigers after getting it around the 15 or 14-yard line. So it's going to be a really important possession to keep themselves in the game early on. Still about to start the second quarter, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they move the ball here.
And that's going to do it here for this first quarter. We are going to toss the break, and we will see you back in a minute.
I'm a senior this year. I'm just excited to cheer on the Tigers. It's our last year with a new coach, a new principal. We're just excited.
We're excited. It's something new, something different. We hope that he's bringing a good program here to our football team. Hopefully we'll just do good this year and be successful. I hope so.
Oh, oh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How far was that? That was
like 70? No.
That was 50 yards.
20 to 20.
30. Oh, you're right. 60 yards.
They missed it.
We are back on HS Tiger Life, and Jackson Hare busting out for the 60-yard run. That is going to set up shop for Arlington at the 22-yard line. What a run by Jackson Hare. He's going to come out and be replaced by Kylan Spears. That is a huge momentum shift for Arlington.
And right when they came back to start the second quarter, Arlington made the big play they needed, and Jackson Hare breaking free off the line. Excited to see what Arlington does as they're nearing their first red zone trip of the season, hoping to make it count.
Grant Buchanan lining up at the 22. Kylan Spears in the backfield. This is a do-or-die moment here for Arlington. If they're this close, they've got to put points on the board. Trying to draw them offside, maybe getting a couple more yards, but looks like they've decided. Grant Buchanan faking the handoff to Kylan Spears, taking it himself, does a spin move, probably intentional, gets down to the 18-yard line. That's going to be a 4-yard gain for Grant.
Like I said, first red zone trip now of the season for the Arlington Tigers, and it's going to be around 2nd and 6 if I am correct. So hopefully making this drive count, like Jake said, they got to get points on the board either way here. So it's going to be a really important drive here.
And MUS last season finished 50th in the state. Arlington, on the other hand, was way down the list. We only have to mention that number. But for Arlington
77.
to be, I think it was farther than that, but for Arlington to be in the situation is pretty good. As Grant drops back to pass, he is sacked. That's going to be number 8. That is going to be Jack Fortes again. He is in the backfield. What a sack there. And that's going to set up 3rd down for this Arlington team.
That's not something you want to see here, getting near to the end zone. They really need to make this happen, get points on the board. And right now, the offense just kind of looked like they didn't know what was going on. Grant kind of got trapped. Both of the linemen came from the opposite sides, and he didn't really have anywhere to go. It's going to be a loss of 5, setting up for 3rd down.
MUS only giving up 10 points to this Arlington team last year, 17 on average against every team they played, which really is a tough division. So even if this team is, not giving up many points, that is very impressive for the division they play in. And that's going to be a read play. Grant's going to be sacked again. Really didn't know what to do there. Not the best play call for the situation they were in, and MUS was all over it.
I hope we go for a field goal here and get some points on the board. Kind of a lackluster ending to what was a really good start to the drive. Jackson Hare's 60-plus yard run to get them into enemy territory and then some, but we're going to line up for a field goal now. Hopefully Arlington gets their first points of the season on the board here.
Ethan Ford back to kick. He was the kickoff guy last year, and now he replaced Jacob DeSields. Let's see if he can hit this one. Ethan Ford gets it up, but not up enough. That is going to be no good. Wide left for Ethan Ford there. Some kicking struggles here for this Arlington team. Grant Buchanan looks devastated about it as this defense goes back out there.
Yeah, like I said, not a very good ending to that drive, and we also didn't get any points on the board. So it's going to be really important that this defense comes up and gets a stop here. Last time got a touchdown, but hopefully we can stop them early and get the ball back and give this Arlington offense another chance to shine.
And this MUS team last year was a heavy pass offense, but right now they look like they are primarily going to run the ball down the field, and it seems to be working. But you've got to think about the fact that they lost 90% of their targets from last year. All 4 wide receivers that they lost got heavy targets, so we'll see what they can do here. Maybe they'll implement the pass. Liam Shepard hands it off to T. Perry yet again. He looks to get outside. Absolutely bulldozes through the defense there, and Brady Garlock. That's going to set up shop for 2nd down and 1.
And earlier in this game, we mentioned how Arlington had like this 3-line defense going for when they would break the first run. So far since then, we haven't really seen that come back out, and I think it's going to be important that we do, because so far they've kind of implemented the running game a little more, and it's working really, really well. So they need to bring something, some spice in, something to make it happen.
Handoff again to T. Perry. This guy's getting a workload right now. Again, breaks out for another 8 to 9 yard run. This is something he's done almost every single play.
Yeah, and starting to see the defense of Arlington kind of break apart right now. They really don't need to do it yet. They need to hold on. This is early in the game. This is the first game. This is where you have your momentum. Everyone should be ripe and ready to go. So Arlington's defense needs to just hold on and get the ball back to their offense. And they've done a good job so far besides the 1 touchdown. They really just need to limit the run.
Back to pass. Looks like Wilson LeMay in the game now. He throws a sidearm Patrick Mahomes pass for the 1st down. What a throw. I haven't seen that in high school football. What a catch there as well.
And it looked like Arlington had them beat there. They had the safety kind of come up in coverage, drop back a little bit, and get ready for what was going to be a pass. But then the second LeMay kind of looked like he was going to run, the safety stepped up and took the sidearm pass, and then there was nobody there to guard the tight end there. So another 1st down for the MUS Owls.
That's going to be William Taylor on the catch there. That's his 2nd catch of the game. Looks to hand off to T again. Gets about 2 yards on the play. Arlington's linebackers all over that one. You see Markham Williams and Carter Wood in the middle.
One of the first pileups of the game so far. Kind of got stuck in traffic. Arlington's going to need to use that while they're a little tired.
MUS making some switches here. And another switch we barely mentioned, Wilson LeMay is now in the game. As Brent mentioned earlier in the game, he actually threw for more yards last year than Liam Shepard. So we're already seeing this 2 quarterback switch up. You've got Wilson with the pitch outside to Mekhi Shaw, who breaks free. He's got all the space in the world, gets 15 yards on the play. We're seeing the dynamic ability of Mekhi Shaw. And again, this offense for the MUS Owls was strictly passing last year. We mentioned that their quarterback actually is now enrolled in Ole Miss. Their best wide receiver is now enrolled at, what is it? I believe it is.
The QB is enrolled at LSU. And their wide receiver is at Ole Miss, as well as their starting running back from last year is now at Tennessee as a walk-on.
So they've got 3 SEC people now in college football. As he throws it out, Wilson LeMay is on target right now. He throws it to number 4. That's going to be Jack Blackwell, another one of these seniors wide receivers who saw no action last year, but they look good right now.
And it's all going MUS's way right now. This defense just doesn't seem to have anything in the tank right now. A little tired from the last possession. They really need to get a stop here, though, because it's going to be important if they want to stay in the game.
MUS 2nd down and 2. Mekhi Shaw in the backfield. Another I formation play. Looked like barely a false start, but Mekhi's going to break free anyways. He gets a couple yards. Yards after contact was about 15 there. Mekhi Shaw all the way down into the 10, inside the red zone. MUS is rolling.
And Arlington looks as if they've fallen apart. MUS has all the control right now. It's going to be really important that Arlington string something together, as it looks like MUS is holding Arlington in the palm of their hand.
And it looks like even though the depth of MUS was lost last year, they've been able to return. They're obviously a private school who is, actively giving players scholarships, and you see it right now in the talent that they have. Mekhi Shaw looking to get another score against the Arlington Tigers, and he does that. MUS in the end zone. That's going to make it 12-0. Mekhi Shaw getting another touchdown against his former school. MUS, like I said, is rolling right now, and they don't look like they want to stop.
He lowered that shoulder to get into the end zone, and the Arlington player just got landed flat out, and there was nothing they could do. I mean, we've said it before, MUS is kind of controlling this right now, and Arlington's going to need to string something together, get into the end zone if they want to stay in this game, because it's a defensive battle right now. And right now, MUS is winning the defense, but they're winning offense too, which is not something that I think Arlington expected to happen. Not
at all, and it looks like MUS is going to try to even it out here. get the 2-point conversion to make it 14-0. Wilson and Micaiah get in the backfield. It's going to be a read option, but instead Wilson decides to take it by himself. Practically didn't even get touched. This Arlington defensive line looks shattered. And when you've got that 3-man front, these guys are doing all the work every single play, and you see the downside effects of that.
You know what Arlington needs right now to rejuvenate this defense? They need a touchdown. I think that would work wonders for the defense. I think they might have a little bit of tired legs, but nothing works better for a kind of beaten up defense right now than a touchdown by your offense. That's just me, though.
Yeah, a touchdown always helps, Brent. Good analysis there, but no matter what, this student section looks great. We've mentioned it again. We'll mention it one more time. So many people out here supporting the Tigers. Hopefully they'll get this Tigers team hype in order to turn these things around.
And it's still the first half. Arlington needs to keep their heads up here, looking forward to a couple scores to get themselves back in this game. I'm sure Arlington's not out of it yet. They know they're not out of it yet. They just need to pull it all together. They've had some good plays here and there, but never had a whole good drive where it's all came together. So really looking forward to see that.
And we look like we have a pause right now on the field, so we're going to toss the break. We'll see you back in just a minute.
Arlington High School. As one of the premier high schools in the state of Tennessee, Arlington High School is proud to be a place for everyone. Whether it be an academic focus with more than 60 honors, AP, and dual enrollment courses, an exploration into the outstanding career and technology programs, becoming a playmaker in a top competitive sports program, or excelling in the second-to-none PAVE Fine Arts Academy. Learn more about Arlington High School at www.acsk-12.
It's here at Arlington Community Schools,
where we thrive on creativity. We take the scattered pieces
to build something great.
We work together to challenge ourselves
and each other, defining who we are and who we want to be.
We rely on technology to learn where we came from,
to see where we're going. We adapt
because we know there's a world of opportunity for all.
We thrive under pressure
to make our future great.
We are Arlington.
Think, create,
achieve.
Kickoff here for the MUS Owls. Down to Arlington's 5-yard line. Jeffrey McCarter looking to return again. Got to the 33-yard line last time, but it looks like he fumbled the ball. Who's on top of it? This would be fantastic field position for the Owls. Looks like MUS is not going crazy, though. Arlington will retain possession, but that was a nail-biter right there. Everybody on the edge of their seat to see who had that one.
And Arlington needs to string something together. 4 minutes and 31 seconds left in the first half. Is going to be important that they get down the field. And even if it's 3 points, they got to get something going, keep this game in the right spirits going into the second half. I think the offense can get it done. Hopefully they catch the defense off guard and run something new, run something they haven't done yet. Still a lot of plays left in the playbook that can be pulled out right now.
And as we said, this defensive line is very quick and very fast, disrupting the Arlington backfield today. Grant Buchanan handing it off. That's going to be number 48, Evan Ola, the running back 3 for this team. Actually took a couple years off of football, but he is back.
They go deep into the depth chart here early on into the game to bring in running back 3, Evan Ola. Keep him in the game right now, I believe, but seeing if the offense can get going a little more. Nice to pull out a couple more guys, see if they can get something going early on.
Absolutely, and a guy who's been quiet so far in this game is Gabriel Torres. I don't believe we've seen one touch from him in the secondary or the offense. Let's see if they can get him involved. Grant Buchanan looks to snap, but no, sir. That's going to be Jeffrey McCarter going with the false start. Another break for this MUS defense. Arlington is just messing themselves up right now.
And that wasn't even questionable there. I don't really know what happened. He got halfway down the field before the play was even snapped. So they're going to have to work on the play calls, the play clock here. They need to figure something out. Ears aren't working right.
Yeah, absolutely. And Arlington, again, pulling out Evan Ola and Gabriel Torres in the backfield. Let's see what they've got here. Grant Buchanan got the ball. He hands it off to Gabriel Torres. But if you've watched Gabriel Torres, you know that if he's not in space, he is not a big man. He is going to get swallowed up if you allow him to. They did not get him in space there, and that is their issue. MUS defeats that one pretty early.
I don't get why we're running the ball so much deep in enemy territory right now. We got to get a pass going. It's 3rd and 16. There's not really much that Arlington can do besides throw the ball. So hopefully here we get a nice pass in and maybe can get some yards on the board, because this is all Arlington's got right now.
And Arlington definitely looking to do that. They've got 4 wide receivers set up, 3 on the right side. Weak secondary on the left. Let's see if they utilize that.
Hail Mary.
Doubt it. Grant Buchanan got the ball. He definitely looks right. Tried to set up a screen pass. That didn't work. Gabriel Torres caught the ball at the 10-yard line. Again, no gain on the play. A completed pass, but it looks like there's a late flag. Maybe an unsportsmanlike conduct. Who knows here?
Hopefully Arlington can get lucky and get another possession out of this. Another play, maybe spark something to get going. Only a little under 3 minutes to go in this half, so there's not much time to make something go.
And that is correct. It looks like it was an unsportsmanlike conduct for the Memphis University. They will move down. I believe it is going to stay 3rd down. I don't know why they wouldn't get an automatic 1st down, but it's going to be 3rd and 5.
Correct my partner, Memphis University School. Arlington Tigers are not playing Memphis Tigers, but we wish they were.
Memphis University School,
cool.
same thing.
MUS, Memphis University School, you know, just got to clarify. You know.
Even though MUS is looking good, they are nowhere to the level of the Memphis Tigers, so I am definitely not getting them confused.
They switched it to what looks like 4th and 5 maybe. Looks like they're going to punt the ball away, though. Confused on why it is 4th down. Should have been an automatic 1st, but refs know best.
Refs definitely know best, and this is going to be a punt here. It's a low punt, looking to get a roll. Caught by Malcolm Shaw. He's going to run it to the outside and get taken down at the 40-yard line. Great tackle there, but MUS is going to have great field position with 2.5 minutes left on this clock. And need I remind you, they get the ball back in the second half as well. So if they were able to score here, that would be a detriment to the Arlington Tigers.
And I do not think this is the way that Arlington envisioned this first half going. Lucky for them, there is still a second half, and there is still time left in this first half. So even though it looks like it's going all MUS, the sky's the limit, hopefully, for this Arlington offense and defense and the special teams, because they're very important too, to get something going under new coach Tommy Miller.
MUS comes in ranked 77th in the state. Arlington coming in ranking 63rd. So according to Max Preps and what their rankings mean, Arlington is the better team on paper, but MUS showing that they've got more to prove. MUS lines up in a double tight end set. They hand it off to T. Perry again, right up the middle. They can afford to take their time here with the way the running game has been going.
Nice to see Perry, if you're Arlington, get pulled down a little early. We've gotten used to seeing him breaking free for some good runs. So hopefully the trend can continue and we can push him back a little farther. It's going to be 2nd and 7.
And last year, out of all of MUS's wins, beating Arlington by 29 was their closest. So they are definitely used to blowing teams out of the water. I hope that's not what it comes to today, but we'll see what they've got. Wilson LeMay rolling out to the left, throwing a little play down to number 5. That's going to be out at the 25-yard line. On the catch there, that's going to be Max Painter again. I've said it so many times, the 3rd senior wide receiver that we've seen that did not catch one pass last year.
MUS is really utilizing those blockers. Anybody that's not involved that is not the quarterback or the receiver catching the ball is coming up to block for the receiver, doing a really good job of making sure he has the most room to run to get towards the end zone.
And they're lining up 1st and 10 yet again. I formation, T. Perry in the backfield. They hand it off to him. He's got room on the right, running through blockers. They're going to take him down at the 10. Again, a big play for this MUS team. That's going to be Mikhail McNeil on the tackle there.
MUS just getting their way right by the end zone with 1:20 to go. Looks like a timeout might have been called.
And I get that. I mean, you've got 3 timeouts. Why not use one to drop a play? But at the same time, the way they've been running the ball, they can operate this clock pretty well without forcing themselves to stop it.
And I think there's still so much promise in this Arlington offense and defense to get something going, but this is not the start you wanted to see. MUS, like we've said a lot, has had a complete offensive switch. We know that their defense is coming back very strong. Didn't really lose anybody from last year. So we knew the defense would be good, but we were not expecting the offense to come out and just be as detrimental to this Arlington team as they have been so far.
And when you look at this matchup last year, it was really 39-3 other than a 75-yard touchdown by John Davis. So when it comes to success against the Owls, the Arlington Tigers are definitely not used to it. And we're seeing that here. MUS just implementing so much on that defensive line. They're able to run all these stunts that gets everybody uncomfortable. And you're seeing that play out with the Arlington offense right now.
Yeah, and it hasn't been a very long and charted history between Arlington and MUS. They only started playing just 2 years ago in 2020. The first game they won 35-3, and like Jake said, last year they won 39-10. But it is only 2-0 in the series, so they're not deep. It's not really a rivalry or anything, but they definitely have not had much success when it comes to the Owls.
A minute 20 left in this half. MUS up 2 scores, and they're in scoring position yet again. And I don't know who that was, but it looks like it was on the Arlington defense. And yes, they are moving it even closer, half the distance to the goal, which is going to move it down to the 5-yard line. Again, MUS receives a break, 1st and goal from the 5-yard line.
And no time came off the clock, and yet they still got closer to the end zone.
LeMay handoff to T. Perry. He looks like he could get in. Ref signal is a touchdown. T. Perry for his 2nd score of the day. The running game is going for the MUS Owls, and they are now up 3 touchdowns on this Arlington team, and they get the ball back in the second half.
He has already doubled the amount of touchdowns he's had last season, which seems crazy, but it's only 2. But he still had an amazing game and has had really strong play. You can tell he's kind of beefed up a little more since last year. He's ready to take on the workload that they have for him.
And you see that replay. He got hit on the 5-yard line and continued to just truck through everybody. What a run right there. Kick goes up, and that is through for number 36. That is going to be Andrew Tinkridi. What a last name, and that one is right through the uprights. MUS going up 21-0. And Arlington has a minute 14 to get something going, and if not, MUS is probably going to have good field position looking to go down the field and score again.
And hopefully we're about to see Arlington's hurry-up offense for the first time this season. Maybe it'll show a little more promise than what we've seen so far.
Yeah, nothing is going here right now. We sound like a broken record. It's not worth mentioning right now, but Jackson Lyons, QB3, is warming up on the sideline. But the score we've got here, MUS up 21-0. Man, there's not even much to say.
Yeah.
I mean, we've said pretty much the same thing the whole time. Arlington looking to return with these impact juniors that they had last year, but so far, nothing is going just because of the depth of this MUS Owls defense.
And they might need a long ball here, and which is where, funny to mention, my brother here might be needed. He's got a nice little arm on him, so hopefully they might be able to use him here towards the end of the half if they need somebody to launch a pass 30+ yards.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. But they look to kick off from the 40. Looks like Arlington's penalty at the end of that drive led to them kicking it 5 yards forward. And it's going to be Gabriel Torres returning. Let's see what he can do. Hasn't really seen that many touches so far.
He's quick off the block, that's for sure.
Gabriel Torres getting to the outside. Looked like a horse collar, no call. They get down to the 37-yard line. Gabriel saw an opening in the middle, decided to cut to the right, running more yards horizontally than vertically. That is something that you don't want to do, especially with time running out.
And they're going to have just over a minute to get something going here. I don't know if they'll do it, but I'd sure like to see it.
And, I mean, they've got the athletes to do it on the outside. They've got Jordan Batts, McHugh Larry, Carter McKay. I mean, these are guys that are extremely athletic, and they can catch any ball thrown to them. The question is, can it be thrown to him accurately? And if so, can you do it in a minute and 4 seconds? Hard ask here as we round out the half. Evan Ola gets the carry. Looks like they're trying to get good field position as Evan Ola returning to his former self, trucking the defender of MUS at the 30-yard line.
I mean, you maybe like to see a timeout here if you're Arlington trying to save the clock, but they're just going to let it run through, and it doesn't look like they're in too much of a hurry up either, kind of just standing around as the half comes to an end. They're going to get off another play, but surprised they're not taking a timeout.
Yeah, especially after that explosive run. 7 yards is not bad. Evan Ola motioning to the running back spot. He's going to get the handoff again, immediately swallowed up by pretty much all of MUS's defensive line. They're all over that one. They're expecting it. And the time is running out on this quarter.
No timeout seems to be called, though, which is really odd considering you have 3 to burn here. Just standing.
And the time is running out here for the Arlington Tigers. They go into the locker room down 21-0 to this Owls team. MUS is in control right now, and we're going to toss the break. We will see you on the other side.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
And now we have a coach's interview from Tommy Miller. Let's see what he has to say.
Being very coachable. I think we're carrying a lot of excitement coming in off our 2 scrimmages. So we got one more week here to prepare and kind of clean things up and get ready, and I feel good at where we're at. I'm very excited. And, this is a really good senior class of kids. They're really tight together. They've been
And now we are going to an interview with our new principal, Abraham.
Mr. Shannon Abraham has just finished his first week as the new principal of Arlington High School.
We're pleased to have him here in the studio with us today. To get a closer look at Mr. Abraham, welcome to the studio.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
As all principals start out as teachers, what got you into being a teacher? What was your role in education?
Well, what first got me into wanting to be an educator is that I wanted to be in a career or profession that allowed me to impact others and to give some of the things that I've learned over my time as an educator to someone else. So, it was one of those things that it was a great opportunity and I was able to get into the field.
Yeah, awesome. Mm-hmm. What subject did you begin teaching with?
I was a science teacher.
Awesome.
Oh, having being a principal at 2 Bartlett high schools, what made you trade in your Panther for your Tiger?
Well, one of the things that made me feel like this was the best place for me to be is that I felt like I wanted an opportunity to serve a school that was a larger school. I wanted to serve a school because I was at the 9th grade academy, so I had 800 students, but I wanted to be with upperclassmen and help them with the process of going on to post-secondary work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The students want to know what they should expect as you as a principal this year, and also what qualities you're planning to bring to the classrooms.
Well, I think students and everyone here, faculty and the students, need to know that I'm an empathetic person, someone who really cares and has a passion for education and passion for the work. And everyone should know that my main goal is to support the school so that the kids, the teachers, and everyone can grow.
Yeah, that's great. Mm-hmm. Do you have a vision for Arlington High School? Where do you see Arlington High School in the next 5 years?
Well, in the next 5 years, my goal is to keep Arlington High School on the same trajectory that is currently on, continuing to grow in terms of academic performance, continuing to put kids in the position or students in the position to be what we consider a portrait of a graduate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have some favorite questions for you. So I'm going to say favorite blank, and you're going to fill in the blank. Okay? Ready? Mm-hmm. Here we go. Favorite food?
Favorite food, seafood.
Favorite type of music?
Favorite type of music is blues.
Oh, favorite movie?
Favorite movie is To Catch a Thief.
Okay. Favorite childhood memory?
Favorite childhood memory would be fishing with my grandmother.
And favorite word?
Favorite word. That's a good one. I don't know. I don't have a favorite word that I can think of.
Okay.
And finally, when our Tigers play the Panthers on the field, how is that going to be like for you? How are you going to feel in that moment?
Well, I would, it's one of those situations where you look at two schools. I'm not aligned to schools necessarily. It will be a difficult moment because I have relationships with the students.
Yes.
So, but anyway, I'm a Tiger.
You're a Tiger. Loud and proud.
Loud and proud.
Well, thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We look forward to see what the year will bring with Mr. Shannon Abraham as our new leader.
Thank you for joining us.
Do you have a business or organization you want to promote? Advertise here. Reach thousands of potential customers throughout the year and show your community support for the Tigers. Every dollar you spend advertising will support academic and extracurricular programs across all schools in ACS. Contact Tyler Hill for more information.
It's here at Arlington Community Schools,
where we thrive on creativity. We take the scattered pieces
to build something great.
We work together to challenge ourselves
and each other, defining who we are and who we want to be.
We rely on technology to learn where we came from,
To see where we're going, we adapt.
because we know there's a world of opportunity for all
We thrive under pressure,
to make our future great.
We are Arlington.
Think,
create,
Achieve.
And we are back here at the halftime report, and there have been some players today that have really stood out to us. Not the players we were really expecting, but Brent, who are those players that you've seen?
I mean, the big guy for me, and he is a pretty big dude, but in a muscular way, is T. Perry. He's got 2 touchdowns so far tonight. Double, like I said, what he had last season. He had 258 yards last season, and he's well on his way to breaking that, if not tonight, then in the first couple of games. But he's had an insane night so far, breaking through almost every guy that Arlington has tried to put on top of him.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you've got another running back, and that's Mekhi Shaw, who is actually our age. He is a senior, but instead he reclassed down. So now you're seeing the ability that he's having over people in this high school game right now, and he's been able to assert his will. He's got a touchdown. He was able to break out for a big run and really recapture what he had last season. He had an 80-yard touchdown in the end of the game that really set the tone and really just blew away Arlington's spirits, and that's what really led to the downfall there. But again, Brent, are there any players that you have seen step out? I know we talked about Carter Wood, and then we talked about Grant Buchanan. How do you see Grant's progress right now?
I think we definitely seen flashes of potential. I think that there's a lot to improve on so far in the first half. We didn't really see a whole drive string together into something really special. Obviously not, because there's still no points on the board for Arlington. But we've seen flashes of it, whether it be Jackson Harris' 60-plus yard run where he showed promise as a new running back. It's his first time starting running back. That was good. But we also saw some plays where the offense kind of strung it together in the passing game. But we still, like I said, haven't seen that completely. So we're still looking to see kind of a whole drive where Arlington kind of pulls it all together and gets scores on the board.
And a lot of credit has got to go to the MUS defense for that. They've been all over it. They run that three-man front, but again, they have so many good defensive linebackers that like to blitz the ball like a Striker Aiken. We've also seen number 8, forgot his name right now, but he's been also really good too. So you're seeing these linebackers get in the backfield, but then when Arlington decides to pass, they're dropping 8. It seems like they know everything that Arlington is throwing at them right now. So that's really where they've been struggling, is the offensive play calling, which I talked about pregame. We really need to fix the play calling, but it seems like MUS is just reading out of our book right now.
Yeah, and I think another thing is the dual combination of the two MUS quarterbacks has been really good. We didn't really expect to see a second one in the game to start out so early, but when they switched it up, the ball started flying through the air, and they were making moves down the field like they hadn't been the entire game. So I think that this kind of dual quarterback option has been working really well.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, they lost 90% of their targets last year, including their really good quarterback that is now enrolled at LSU. I messed that up during the game. But he's at LSU, and they lost all their offense. Their starting running back is now a walk-on at Tennessee. Like, they don't have anybody compared to last year. And then you see 3 new senior wide receivers who had not had one catch at all last year show that they've improved and show that they can do it. And right now, I mean, it's working. It's 21-0.
Yeah. And I think if we want to see Arlington improve this game, see them kind of get back towards where MUS is at right now, it's got to be on defense. I know we've mentioned offense a lot, but defensively, they've had a rough time kind of holding up for long possessions. MUS is really drawing out this game and making the defense down the field for really, really long possessions. So I think the point Arlington needs to make in the locker room is defense, and to kind of fix the gap holes. We saw at the beginning of the game when they ran the 3 deep man, like when they would break the first line, they'd have 2 other lines to go to, and it kind of worked at first, but then they got tired and kind of went away from it. We might have to see them go back to that if they want to get in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And other than that Jordan Batts defensive play, we haven't really seen any highlight plays from this defense. I mean, we had a couple cases where they gained only 1 or 2 yards, but so far 1 or 2 yards has been the worst play for them.
Yeah.
And that's not something you want. Jordan Batts with that great sack in the backfield. I really want to see Carter Wood and Jackson Harris step up. I know Jackson Harris doing his thing on the offensive end, but I really want to see him step up on defense. He was the 3rd leading tackler on this team last year. Carter tied for 1st, Jordan tied for 1st. So I really want to see these 3 returning juniors really step up in the second half.
Yeah, and I think the potential's there. We talked about them in pregame, and we talked about how much skill, and so did Coach Miller, talked about how much skill this senior class has. They've been playing together for a really long time, playing together since early middle school years. So this is a team that's been together for a long time, and chemistry really isn't the issue. It's just pulling all the athleticism and talent that they have individually together and getting some points on the board and making stops on defense.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about it pregame. Again, one of these things where the defense is on the field the majority of the time. And if the offense isn't working, if the offense isn't really putting points on the board, then how can you expect this defense to stop this MUS offense that looks like they've reloaded? So that's going to be it for us at the halftime report. We're going to toss the break, and we'll see you on the other side.
I think it's just vapor and flavors. It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit Talk About Vaping.
It's here.
At Arlington Community Schools,
where we thrive on creativity. We take the scattered pieces
to build something great.
We work together to challenge ourselves
and each other, defining who we are and who we want to be.
We rely on technology to learn where we came from,
to see where we're going. We adapt.
Because we know there's a world of opportunity for all.
We thrive under pressure
to make our future great.
We are Arlington.
Think, create,
achieve.
My graduation was something I will never forget. People like you and me sometimes may have doubts in yourself, but I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at Finish Your Diploma.
And we are back, and we are going to our sharp-dressed man in Audion. He's on the field. What you got for us?
Well, the game isn't exactly what we expected when we discussed it in our pregame show. I feel like if we really work hard, we can go back to what we said. Carter Wood has been doing some good plays. I've seen him tackle about 3 people throughout the game. Grant Buchanan has tried to get out some passes, but mostly doing running like we talked about in the pregame show. And, yeah, that's about it. We just have to see where we go from there.
Hello, and that is going to be it for Audion. Thank you very much for that impressive sideline report. And Arlington and MUS are making their way back onto the field. Arlington looking a little bit rejuvenated, hyping up the student section, hyping up the crowd. And MUS just looks like they're all down to business. We'll see what happens here. Arlington is fired up and they're ready as we've got about 3 minutes left to this next half. And I want to give a shout out as well. We received Chick-fil-A from one of my good friends, Jacob Strand. I had to give him a shout out. This Chick-fil-A is very good. He also offered to pay for it, which I'm not going to go back at him at because I'm totally fine with that. So thank you very much for the Chick-fil-A.
It was very scrumptious indeed.
Absolutely. And while we've got this time, we've already talked about the team and the game. Sorry, we just got an audio malfunction there. But we have to mention Roman Cleary, Brent. We don't have Roman Cleary in the booth with us today, but how do you feel with him not being here so far?
I love Roman very much, and I know he's listening right now. And so I wanted to give a quick shout out to something that he's been working on with us, and I got some little prepared, so just bear with me here. Are you an adamant sports fan? If you are, make sure you check out the Men in Hoodie Show for all your Arlington sports needs. You want to go deeper? Are you still hungry for more? AHS host Brent Lyons and Jake Stoop, alongside Tiger Life alum Roman Cleary, take you on a deep dive every week through national sports news on the Men in Hoodies podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. So yeah, I had to give a quick shout out to my boy Roman Cleary, and thank you so much for all you did for us to help us get where we are now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, and that is a very fun podcast that we like to do. And definitely go check that out. It's located on Spotify, Apple, and Anchor, so definitely go check that out.
And we're getting ready to start the second half right now, just about a minute to go in this halftime. And we did get some stats from the Arlington side. Not very impressive, if I have to be very blunt. Only 3 first downs for the entire half, as equivalent to 14 for the MUS Owls. And when it comes to rushing yards, they rushed 16 times for 73 yards, as an equivalent to MUS's 21 for an impressive 141 yards from scrimmage in the first half. And it's just been a rough night so far for the Tigers, but lucky for us, there's time to turn it around. There is still time to turn it around as we're gearing up for the second half to get started. Jake, I heard you got a little more for us.
Yeah, and before we start, let's get to some announcements. AHS Tiger Life's coverage of the Arlington vs. MUS football game is brought to you in part by ACS. Arlington High School is proud to offer something for every student, whether it be the academic focus on honors, AP and dual enrollment courses, or an exploration into the outstanding career and technology programs, as well as being a playmaker in top sports program or the remarkable PAVE Fine Arts Academy. Think, create, and achieve. Alongside Tiger Life Media. Tonight's game is also brought to you by AHS Tiger Life, the official media publication of Arlington High School. Tiger Life Media is a student-made and student-managed production. To see what we do, visit ahstigerlife.com. And we already talked about some of the stuff we do there. We've got the Men in Hoodies show. We've got the Men in Hoodies podcast. We've got This is Arlington. We've got a bunch of things going out there, including Tiger Tough, which is going to be a new sports show that comes out. But, yeah, we really love what we're doing here at Arlington.
Yeah, and you can see the The Blue Crew, the Arlington student section, is still in this game despite being down 21-0. There's still 24 minutes to play right now, and Arlington has a shot to do something. Of course, it's going to start on the defensive end here, as it's going to be MUS's ball to start out, but we're about to get to kickoff now. And it looks like Arlington's going to kick it off here. Deep.
That's Chase Haskins on the kick. Returned by T. Perry. He is swallowed up by McHugh Larry at the 24-yard line. MUS looking to set up this drive on pretty much similar field position that they've had all game, and they've been successful. And if you're MUS, why not return to what they've been doing and running the ball?
It was a pretty wild halftime, but we're back, and we're settled down, and we're ready to get going. It looks like the two teams are ready to get going as well. It's going to be MSU's first offensive possession of the second half, looking to keep the momentum that they've had the entire game.
T. Perry in the backfield. He takes the handoff. He's right up the gut. I lied. That's Mekhi Shaw, but was he down when he fumbled that ball? Referees are saying he was. That's a good break there for the Owls. MUS looks like they will be receiving a new first down. That is going to be good field position again at the 35.
And that's the second time that there might have been a fumble that the refs have given it to MUS. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, two fumbles in a sense, but nothing has really came from it as the ball has retained with MUS both times.
Liam Shepard back in the game, handing it off to T. Perry. He barely hung onto the ball. That's going to be 24. That's going to be Rip Pittman right there, his first tackle of the game. He's getting involved, and that's one of the linebackers that we talked about, but really we haven't even mentioned him, right? The linebackers need to step up, but that's a new face right there.
And as part of the defense that we really need to step up here if we want to see Arlington eventually get back in this game. It's still obtainable. It's still really early in the second half, and there's time to play, but it takes plays like that and rejuvenated defenses and offenses to get that going.
Second down, no gain on the play there for the Owls. Arlington looking like they're starting to understand this run game, and that's a breath of fresh air if you're a Tiger fan.
It's only going to be 2nd and 10, so they didn't lose yards there.
Shepard fakes the handoff. He rolls right. Deep blitz there. He throws to number 5. That's going to be incomplete. Max Painter with the drop. Liam Shepard throwing off his back foot there led to it being a little more outside than he wanted to.
And it was still a pretty good pass, but it just went off the fingertips there of number 5. The defense has really got to work on kind of closing out on those kind of out routes. They haven't really closed out really well. So, sorry, I kind of.
No, you're good. Either way, this is 3rd down. This is a big play for both teams right here. Arlington looking to get a big stop to finally get the ball back, but MUS looking to continue to assert their dominance in this game.
And if Arlington can get a stop here without any yards going up the board, they could be looking at the play they might be looking at the play starting out in their side of the field.
Arlington rushes 5. That's going to be dropped by Blackwell right there at the 50-yard line. Arlington catching a break, and the Owls look like they're going to punt.
Arlington could potentially get good field position here if they play their cards right. Looking to get back on the field and make something positive happen for a change. Besides that 60-plus yard run from Jackson Hare, we really haven't seen much out of this offense. So hopefully some fresh air has been pumped into their lungs and they're ready to go.
Gabriel Torres back to receive. The man who ran a 10.77 in the 100-meter dash, one of the fastest guys in the state currently. Let's see if he can get into space or if MUS is going to let him return it at all. The punt again. Gabriel Torres is back deep. He looked like he tried to return that, but no point as it goes out of bounds at the 30-yard line. That's going to be decent field position here for Arlington. And Grant Buchanan, again, returning out to this game. We saw that, he was a really good runner, but also he needs to show that he can pass the ball as well.
And right now we're going to take a toss to the player spotlight.
My name is Drew Benjamin, and class 2023, I'm a senior. My grades are pretty stout. I've got like a 3.9 GPA, and I got a 30 on my ACT. I don't know. I didn't really play football last year, so I wouldn't really know too much about that. Like, this is my first year playing, but when I play baseball, I kind of just have to like suck it up and do it at school, and then do baseball. I don't know. It's not that difficult, to be honest. Just turn your work in, honestly. All you have to do is turn it in high school, and like, you'll get good grades. What kills your grades is when you don't turn your work in. I had to learn that the hard way. Yes, it's very important to keep good grades, or else you'll get grounded.
That's Drew Benjamin right there, the backup quarterback, also a wide receiver and a defensive back. He actually returned to football this season, looking to make his impact wherever he can. Obviously, right now, not at the QB position. But speaking of quarterback, Grant Buchanan threw a pass there to McKeel Larry, hit him in the hands just a little too low. Arlington disappointed right there as they have a man down on the field.
And Arlington's still not really able to get the passing game going. I don't know what it is, but the ball might be a little greasy or something, because every time it hits their hands, they're not catching it. And every time they try to throw it, they're getting collapsed in the pocket. So I don't know what's really happening, but they got to figure it out, and they got to figure it out fast.
That's going to be Clark Cocroft, the senior lineman that is on the ground right there. Hate to see him hurt, but good that he's walking off on his own power.
Going to see if Arlington can hopefully get something going here. They got pretty good field position, and they need to do something with it, because if not, time's going to start running out, and we know how much MUS has liked to hold the ball out for long clocks and long periods of time. So this is a really important possession for Arlington.
Grant Buchanan back to pass. He's rolling left. Just got the ball off, and that's going to be intercepted by Mekhi Shaw on the other side. The running back with a touchdown comes up with the pick. Flags are all over the field. What is happening right now? But either way, Mekhi Shaw with the very impressive interception.
That's just not a good football play. I mean, I understand that it was a design play, but at the same time, when you rolled out and you saw that there was nobody there that you could pass it to, you threw it into 3 MUS guys. As you look at the replay, your wide receiver was going out of bounds. There was nobody to make that pass. You might as well have tucked and run. That was just not a smart play by the senior quarterback. And so far, I'm going to be honest, haven't seen much change from this season to last. Just being completely honest, it's a little disappointing to start the season.
Yeah, and there it looked like they had a good designed pass play, but again, MUS bailed out by the late throw by Grant. As you said, probably would have been a better option to throw out of bounds, but instead the Owls are going to take it from the 30-yard line. Again, good field position, but this defense is yet again back out on the field.
And that is exactly what you didn't want to happen if you were the Tigers. They got the stop they needed to give the offense the momentum, and the offense didn't really get the momentum. So it's going to be a hard task for the Tigers defense to keep them in the game when the offense isn't picking up the slack.
Looks like Mekhi Shaw on the run there. They decided to give him another snap after that impressive interception. He's tackled around the 25-yard line.
And just chugging and chugging right now is MUS, trying to work time off the clock and in the game as quickly as possible, knowing that they have this 21-point lead and trying to continue the 2-game streak so far of dominance over the Tigers.
And coming into this game, we knew that MUS wouldn't pass very well, and they've almost avoided it completely. The running game is working on all cylinders right now. And even on that play, T. Perry tackled at the 25-yard line, but even there, the defensive line was in the backfield, and yet Perry was able to go around them and get another, 2 yards on the play. That is just something that, Arlington has not seen from themselves, and really the MUS's offense, along with Perry, is really showing their skill set.
It's going to be 3rd and 5 right now for the Owls. 3rd and 3, excuse me, and they're looking to get another first down.
Perry with the handoff. Looks like the counter play. Faked left, went right, and he gets about 15 yards on that play. Perry, again, showing how successful he can be. He might reach his season total rushing yards in this game alone.
Yeah, and Perry just hasn't been able to be stopped once he's got going. There's been no question that this MUS offense has not, they definitely took a drop off, but it's not as bad as we thought it would be. They are showing that they should be included in this conversation of offense, and just because these great players graduated last year, that they're still going to come out swinging.
MUS again, same formation. The counter play yet again gets about 2 yards. Really everything is working for this MUS team. They are down inside the red zone yet again.
And usually 2 yards wouldn't be that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, but right now they're continuing to get the ball moving down the field, and they're still just chugging away at this clock, chugging away at this game, and Arlington has yet to really make a big defensive stop where they lose yards or get the ball back in this game, which is ultimately why all these little plays are still huge ones in the grand scheme of things.
2nd down and 7 for the Owls. Again, they've lined up 7 to 8 on the line of scrimmage. They do the exact same play again with T. Perry. Again, he busts out for a big gain, The counter play is working yet again for them. They're going to be inside the 5-yard line.
I said this earlier when Arlington was on the offensive side of the ball. When you run the same play a couple times in a row, typically the defense will pick up on it. I was wrong because right now the defense isn't really picking up on it. Hopefully they get it and can get a stop here, but right now it looks like MUS is just delaying the inevitable, and they're about to score their 4th touchdown of the game.
And you look at this offensive line. You've got Michael Ray and Nicholas Matthews. These guys are 6'5" and 6'3". I mean, this is not a short offensive line that you're going against. As T. Perry takes it in, gets that final lunge, and he's going to be back in the end zone for his 3rd touchdown on the day. He has been an absolute showcase player tonight. He is showing how he has improved from his sophomore and junior season, and this is a scary running back.
Yeah, and T. Perry, I mean, that's his 3rd touchdown of the night, 3 more than he had all season. I'll continue to just add to that total here tonight, and he might be inching towards his run total yards from last season. This guy has wreaked complete havoc on the Arlington defense, and they haven't really done anything to stop him. Just a really big, muscular running back that MUS has right now, and there's nothing that Arlington can do to contain him.
Tinkridi continuing this perfection from the Owls, kicking that one through the uprights. And Arlington, I said that they came out of the halftime with a little bit of spark. They were jumping around, jumping towards that sideline, but now you see them heads down, helmets off. They are just not looking like they're in their element right now. They are depleted right now.
And Arlington right now needs to find some sort of spark. I feel like they really need right now, even if the game is out of their hands, to get a touchdown, to get some points on the board. I don't know if anything would be worse than not being able to score in the first game of the season, kind of just giving yourself some momentum. Right now, even though it looks like the game isn't going, well, it isn't going the way that you want it to, maybe getting some points on the board, getting some good plays in, running a good possession completely and wholly would be something that would kind of give them a spark.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at this defense, I mean, this is a very experienced defense for the Arlington Tigers. And you've seen how MUS can just come in and completely control the pace, running the ball seemingly every single play. I don't remember the last time they passed the ball other than that really good Wilson LeMay sideways throw in the first half. But other than that, MUS is showing the same things, and Arlington is continuing to not stop them.
Arlington about to get their 2nd chance this half on offense. Hopefully make something happen here. Grant Buchanan get the offense going, get the arm kind of ready to go.
Jeffrey McCarter again loses the ball at the end of that play. The 2nd time he's done that, but either way, Arlington's got the ball, and there's an MUS player down on the field.
Trying to get a gauge on who might be down right now. He looks like he's in a pretty good amount of pain rolling around there on the ground. We always hope that every player is all right. So hopefully he gets up well and gets to walk off the field on his own power, getting ready for Arlington's next possession.
And while he's hurt, we are going to take a break from here. We will see you back in a minute.
I think it's just vapor and flavors. It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes.
Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping.
In part by ACS. Arlington High School is proud to offer something to offer for every student, whether it be an academic focus on honors, AP and dual enrollment courses, or an exploration into the outstanding career and technology programs, as well as being a playmaker in a top sports program or the remarkable PAVE Fine Arts Academy. Think, create, achieve.
Tonight's game is also brought to you by AHS Tiger Life. the official media publication of Arlington High School. Tiger Life Media is a student-made, student-managed production. To see what we do, visit ahstigerlife.com.
And we are back with action. Jackson Hare returning to the running back spot, looking to see what he can do as he provided a spark in the first half. Jackson Hare breaks through the first line of defense as they get to the 30-yard line. That is going to be a 5-yard gain, which is always a good thing for this Arlington team right now, as they have gone over through the first couple quarters.
And now we're going to toss the sounds of the game. Let's see what is going on around the Arlington field.
And that is an incompletion there for Grant Buchanan, but not his fault, as that pass hit Carter McKay right on the hands. That is one you want to have back there if you're the Tigers.
And that's the deepest pass that Arlington's thrown all game, and it's going to be right back to the defense after this kick. 4th and 4, Arlington's going to have to punt the ball away.
And we go back to Grant's stats last year, only 134 passing yards and 180 rushing yards. That would have been a good margin when you look at last year's season if he would have caught that ball. Back to punt here is going to be Douglas Salatel. He's going to get that to about the 40-yard line before it goes out of bounds. As a fight is breaking out on the field right now. Looks like they clean it up, but there were flags thrown. Let's see who the ref thinks the fault was.
It's probably going to give MUS even better field position, as it looks like Arlington was the one that kind of led on that fight, and it took a couple other of his teammates to kind of cool him off.
To me, that looked like it was Rip Pittman there. That is the junior, 5'10 junior, 180 pounds. Looked like he just lost his cool there. That's something you can't afford to do in a game like this.
And Arlington right back to where they've been for most of this game on defense. And this defense has got to be tired and worn out. I don't even know if a touchdown would rejuvenate them at this point. They really just want to get off the field as quickly as possible. And so far this half, I mean, they haven't done a terrible job of kind of slowing down the plays. Haven't had as many big plays, but it's still kind of rough out there for this defense.
And it looks like this MUS team now has 4 wideouts. That is something we have not seen. They usually gather everybody on the line. Let's see if they try to implement some passing plays. Shotgun formation, you've got one halfback. The snap, that's going to be a new quarterback. He looks fast. He's going to get a bunch of yards. He's got the first down and gets absolutely leveled there. Looked like it could have been a targeting from this angle, but either way, that is a big gain right there.
His name is Brady Hughes, number 10 for MUS. He is actually a sophomore this year, so this is a 3rd quarterback that MUS has put into the game so far, and he looks like he has some legs on him. He was sprinting down the middle of the field, and he just got pancaked there at the end.
Yeah, hard hit there, but either way, great news for MUS. You're now inside Arlington territory, looking to make a move. The snap is high, doesn't matter. He hands it off to Mekhi Shaw. Initial touch is at the 40-yard line, but he ends up gaining 3 yards on the play, 5 yards after initial contact. I mean, this Arlington defense right now is just tired. They're fatigued. Nothing is really rolling for them. Seems like they can't tackle him on the first touch.
And yeah, like you said, Arlington's defense just looks really, really fatigued out there. It's just a matter of time before MUS kind of breaks them in again, but they look like they're kind of trying to implement stuff that they haven't done the entire game, seeing what works, what doesn't work. And they also have their third string QB in the game right now, someone we didn't expect to see play.
Hughes again. Looks like it started to be a pitch play, but he decided to take him himself. Great decision there. He gets down to the 20-yard line inside the red zone. Again, great field position here for the Owls as they look to score again. I mean, this defense is just not holding up right now.
I know I don't go to MUS, but someone might need to check in and see if he runs track or not, because he's getting off quick from the QB spot, getting down the field. So someone might need to see if he's a sprinter or something, because he's really fast.
And not only is he fast, but he's 6'1" at the same time, 185. I mean, this is a sophomore who's got that muscle mass, but also he's got that speed. Hughes drops back, another pitch play for Mackay. He gets outside, he cuts upfield, he gets past everybody. That's going to be his second touchdown of the game. That is their 5th rushing touchdown of the night. Mackay Shaw, the junior, is making his presence known as he has another rushing touchdown on the night.
And it looks like the dominance of the MUS Arlington series is going to continue on here tonight. Not even the fourth quarter yet, and it's looking like it's going to be 35-0. Not a great start to the season if you're the Arlington Tigers.
And if you watch this team last year, this brings back flashbacks from that Germantown game. Germantown had a running back named Cody Jones who had, I think it was 4 or 5 touchdowns on the day. He's now at Michigan, but you see how dynamic this running teams can be against this Arlington defense. Tinkridi again, he is perfect on the extra points. That's another one going through. He has been spot on the night, just like this entire MUS team.
Arlington, they've
There's not much to say.
There's not much to say. I mean, the fans are still really into it. All the fans seem to still be here, getting rowdy for their crew. Blue Crew has done an amazing job. Cheerleaders, AHS Media, Tiger Life has done an amazing job tonight. Football team, a lot to work on. Lucky it's a long season, 10 games, 9 to go. I mean, it's also not over. Who knows? This Tigers team could pull something together, but just being the kind of looker-on that I am right now, it doesn't look very promising.
I mean, you didn't even mention the chicken sandwiches, man. I mean, that's been an absolute plus.
It has.
We're not sponsored by Chick-fil-A, but we might as well be. Chick-fil-A, you do some great work. Chick-fil-A sandwiches, even when they're cold, are some good stuff.
And even though this offense and defense for Arlington is cold right now, maybe we'll see them get hot real quick, just like a nice, good, crispy Chick-fil-A sandwich, get a touchdown going towards the end of this game, but I'd love to see it.
Good transition there, Brent. As we transition to Arlington's ball, they look to kick it off again. Jeffrey McCarter and Gabriel Torres back there. Arlington is not looking to sub. They are keeping their starters into the game. Jeffrey McCarter again. They kick it back to him. Let's see if he can hold on to the ball. Jeffrey McCarter gets out. He gets absolutely leveled right there. MUS was ready for that. That's going to be McBride on the tackle, the 6-foot senior. Jeffrey McCarter had some speed, but man, McBride said no, sir.
And Arlington's looking to take over here around the 30-yard line. Again, staying optimistic that they can get something going, but not much to really say about them until they do. Grant Buchanan is back behind center, looking to get something out.
And yeah, nothing going here for this Arlington team. All that was hyped was that, you know, this team was different. This team was back, but you've got to get a lot of credit to this MUS Owls team, showing that they mean business. Buchanan drops back to pass. He's going to throw another one out there. That's going to be short. Looked like it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Gabriel Torres was the one who was intended for.
Just another low pass. He's getting the balls out of the pocket right now, but it's just not landing right now. They need to figure out what's going wrong when they look back on tape here and see if they can get something better for next game.
Yeah, and you've got to wonder when they're going to start making substitutions. To have these guys out here when they're exhausted, man, that doesn't seem like the smartest decision to me. Either way, Buchanan's back there again. You've got Jackson Harrett running back. He is leveled again at the 30-yard line. This is going to set up 3rd down and 7 for this Arlington team.
And I agree with you. I think it's only a matter of time before you have to consider putting in these these backup QBs, backup running backs, wide receivers, offensive line, these guys have got to get rest. I mean, if these are your starters, you're going to need them for the whole year. It'd be awful if they got hurt first game and then they can't play for the rest of the season. So maybe putting in a young guy, I don't know, Jackson Lyons or something, to maybe make something happen. But nonetheless, it's going to be another 4th down for the Tigers.
Well, Grant's trying to make something happen with that run. Even with his smaller frame, he's able to pick up that first down, implementing a spin move. And that is one of the first, it's been a while since the first down, so it's good to see that if you're a Tiger fan.
I love seeing first downs. I'd love to see a couple more of them and maybe a touchdown here. And it looks like they're moving in the right direction. See if they can get some going, some momentum swinging.
Grant Buchanan with the 2-back set here. Grant fakes the handoff. He doesn't actually. Gabriel Torres gets the ball. Good misdirection there from Grant Buchanan as he hands it off to Gabriel Torres. Gabriel looks hurt, though. He's hopping off the field. That is not a good sign at all.
And Gabriel had said so many injuries recently. Last season, he got hurt during football. He got hurt during track season as well. He was hoping to make his appearance back tonight, but it looks like hopping off the field. We hope he's all right.
Looks like a cramp. Glad that's all it was, but that's going to wrap up this 3rd quarter. MUS Owls up 35-0 against this Arlington Tiger team. We'll see you in the 4th quarter.
It's here at Arlington Community Schools,
where we thrive on creativity. We take the scattered pieces
to build something great.
We work together to challenge ourselves
and each other, defining who we are and who we want to be.
We rely on technology to learn where we came from,
to see where we're going. We adapt.
Because we know there's a world of opportunity for all.
We thrive under pressure
to make our future great.
We are Arlington.
Think,
create,
achieve.
And we are back. This is going to be the play of the game. Mekhi Shaw for one of his rushing touchdowns.
Just one of the great rushing plays here by the MUS Owls this game. Just broke through everybody. This most recent touchdown that they had for another easy score to make it 35-0 as Arlington's back on the field.
Grant Buchanan rolling left. He had no shot there. In the backfield there's number 99. That's going to be DeMar Wells, one of the great seniors on this team. That's going to be his first sack of the game.
Looks like a loss of 6 here. It's not looking good.
Yeah, they've got 3rd down and long on the 38-yard line in their own territory. And if you're going to want to keep the ball moving here, you've got to complete a pass play.
Here we go. They set up for 3rd and 15 before a whistle comes.
Official timeout here. Looks like they're going to talk something over. Don't know exactly what that was, but you're looking at this MUS defense right here. I mean, this group has been special. Last year, they only allowed 17 points per game in the division with all these great teams. We can get into them later, but at the same time, like, this MUS team is just so well-rounded. They have really showed that they mean business this year. They're ranked, I believe, 50th in the state right now as they come in, and this is really just a really bad ranking for what seems like a really good team.
Yeah, and talking about that defense a little bit more, MUS, that was their shining joy coming into the season. They didn't really lose anybody, like we've said, on the defensive end. It was more the offense that was getting the story because of how many new people would be on that side of the ball, and it kind of made us underappreciate this defensive line and this defensive unit, and they've done a great job, obviously, holding Arlington to no points so far in their opening at home.
And the guy that we have not seen since the 1st quarter, that's going to be Jordan Batts. According to Commercial Appeal, one of the best wide receivers that we could see this year, and he has not caught a pass yet. This offense has just not been clicking. But again, you've got to give credit to this defense. They have been well-rounded all game, not letting anything go by.
Still trying to see what the refs are talking about down on the field. they pulled all of them together, so it's got to be something interesting if they're pulling everybody together to see what it is, holding up what should be just an inevitable ending to the game.
And something that we haven't mentioned here is the size, right? You look at this MUS team, and for some reason they just look bigger, right? They look like they're more athletic. They look like they've really been in the weight room more. Not that, but Arlington is just undersized, and I think that's something that really affects them when it comes down, especially the battle at the line of scrimmage. They are just way oversized.
And that's something that we pointed out on the offensive side of the ball as well. But this defense, like we said, has been kind of their consistent and the same, that has stayed the same throughout this season, the last season. But they've all bulked up. They've all gotten better. They've all done what they needed to do to make sure that this defense is kind of regarded as one of the better defenses in the state.
Still don't know what the confusion is here. But the one thing that's been consistent, as you've been looking at, is that student section for Arlington. Everybody's still here, even when it's a 35-point deficit. Gotta love that from a student perspective.
We love the school spirit first game of the year, and hopefully we don't scare them off first game just because it was a little rough. I'm sure we have some good ones coming down the stretch with games like Overton and such that we can get back on the right track.
Not to mention East next week. That was one of our only wins last year. Look to see what we can do there. As Grant Buchanan is still in the game, he decides to run the ball immediately. Oh my goodness, he fumbles the ball. That's going to be a turnover there for the Arlington Tigers. It was about where the first down marker would be, but Grant Buchanan, just a sad night for him. He's got his head down, and for good reason.
Yeah, it's been a really, really rough night for Grant and his debut as starter for the senior season. And you have to hope that there's no place to go but up here for this Arlington Tigers team, but it's hard to know based off the way that last season kind of went.
Grant is hobbling off the field right now. You've got to hope that he's okay. Took a beating there, and that's the reason for the fumble. He is sitting alongside Tommy Miller on the bench, looking to see what's wrong. It's not a cramp. Hopefully it's something less severe or more. Hopefully it's something not severe at all.
I think he might just be suffering from a sad heart. It's his first senior season game, and it didn't probably go the way he planned. But in other news, it looks like Arlington got a sack.
Yeah, that looked like Ethan Smith there, his first appearance in the backfield, along with Jordan Batts. They actually moved him from the secondary to the outside linebacker position in order to get him all over the field. When you look at it, he's really the Swiss Army knife of this defense. You can put him anywhere you want to, and he's still going to make plays with that big frame.
And it's going to be 2nd and 13 for MUS and what is now a running clock for the remainder of this game unless Arlington makes a miraculous comeback. And we mentioned Grant. He's kind of just sitting there alone on the backside of the bench right now, kind of just contemplating what went on. Looks a little defeated. Hopefully he doesn't hold his head too low. Still a whole season to go, and he's got a pretty promising season coming up, hopefully. We're really excited to see him play, so hopefully he doesn't look down on himself too much.
We'll see what happens from here, but you've got to look at the two quarterbacks warming up right now, the sophomore Jackson Lyons and the senior Drew Benjamin, who you actually saw in the player spotlight earlier. We'll see who gets the next snap.
And the refs are meeting again, stopping the play, kind of holding out as the running clock continues to go, so maybe they're ready to go as well.
They heard us talking about Chick-fil-A, and they're ready for it.
Hey, man, we got more up here. If you want to come get some, the refs working hard for us out there. They deserve it too.
That is a high snap there. Handoff to one of these reserve guys. MUS starting to implement their reserves as well.
Kind of got slammed a little bit there on the run, but still found a way to get back to the set. What will be 3rd and 10 now for MUS, kind of just waiting this game out to be over.
And it looks like they've brought in Will Skinner, the junior quarterback. Pretty undersized, about 155, 5'11". Let's see what he can do here in his first appearance.
They have gone all the way down to QB4 now, while Arlington still sits at QB1. So assuming that what Jake said is correct, and with the two quarterbacks, QB2 and QB3, warming up on the sideline, we should be seeing the end to that, but the plays continue to be kind of halted, and now a flag is down on the field. Probably, I believe it's offsides on the offense.
That would be a false start. Wide receiver on the left side of the field took off, which leads to 3rd down and long. Arlington really needs a break here. They need to get a stop. 2 halfback set. Different set than we've seen so far in this game. You've seen how they've rotated their formation as they switch quarterbacks. Back to pass, he throws deep. Could have been picked off there, but that is going to be incomplete. Mikhail McNeil on the coverage. Good defense there.
Throws a rocket the first play he's in. One of the longer throws we've seen all game. Just a little bit off target, but you like to see them going a little deeper here, as it's going to be 4th and 16 and force MUS to punt, and Arlington's going to start deep back in their own territory.
I don't know if they're punting yet. Okay, there they are. They bring it out. They contemplated it, but they do bring out the punting team.
Hey, man, and when you're up 35-0, there are really no rules. They could bring out whatever they want, try whatever play. Maybe we'll see that fake play that you were talking about earlier.
I mean, I was just surprised that Mackay was able to punt the ball. I mean, that is something that I didn't know he could do. It wasn't advertised that way.
Swiss Army knife, man.
Absolutely, and he is actually, I think, a triple sport athlete, playing baseball, basketball, and football. This man is always playing sports, and you can see it here, just the raw athletic ability that he possesses.
And, man, MUS's raw athletic ability in every player that they've had tonight has really been shining all the way up and down the depth chart. They haven't really had an issue with anybody, giving lots of people playing time, and lots of players that normally we didn't expect to see on the field have got lots of good minutes tonight. So,
and it's going to be 4th down, both teams making their way back onto the field. We'll see what MUS has to pull out right now. Looks like they've put a new guy back to return the punt. Can't see his number from this angle, but we'll see what he's got to bring us.
Looks like the implementation of the reserves are going to be in use for Arlington at this point, with a little under 7 minutes to go in this game. Maybe the backups will bring a touchdown home before the game ends, and it'll end on a high note. Good kick.
That's going to be a punt. It's actually Brady Garlock back there. He gets absolutely leveled after catching the ball, and MUS recovers that. I'm surprised that's not a roughing the returner there, but I guess because he touched that before he got leveled, that's the reason for it, and MUS just continues this dominating performance.
Man, it's really hard to talk about Arlington right now and trying to be motivated and excited for this, because it just keeps on. The hits just keep on coming, and this was a really hard one. We're about to take another look at it here real quick. Just got leveled, and what Jake said, roughing the, what do you call it, roughing the catcher?
Something like that.
Something like that. It was pretty rough. We'll just put it that way. I definitely don't think he saw it coming. As we take a look at this replay, a pretty good kick. I mean, the ball went right into Garlock's hands, and he just got leveled from the second that he got it. And now MUS is looking like they might score their 41st and 42nd point of the game.
You got number 15, the new quarterback in the backfield. That's going to be Jacob Wade, another one of these former Arlington Tigers that transferred out to this MUS school. You've got other guys like Jacob Harrington, Stryker Aiken, Malcolm, and Mackay Shaw, and you're seeing how big of an impact they can have. And obviously, they want to win this game more than anybody.
And Nolan Brown was the running back on that play. He actually plays wide receiver, but, you know, we're just throwing everybody anywhere at this point. And just adding to the number of QBs that have taken snaps tonight, that is now up to 5 for MUS, going deep into the arsenal, proving to Arlington that they've got more depth by a long shot.
And it looks like Arlington finally has put in these reserves. Looks like the JV team that we saw almost beat Germantown a couple nights ago.
There's some promising guys on this JV team. Hoping to see some of them get loose and get some good minutes in.
Looked like a false start, no call. He's going to be wrapped up in the backfield. That's a great tackle by Ethan Smith. He's actually one of the starters for this Arlington football team. He's able to assert his presence against an MUS team that, you know, they have depth, but this is the freshman in the game right now.
Brings up 3rd and 16, like you said. Not really making good on the forced fumble there on the kickoff, but, you know, it's not really that important at this point, but there is an injured player down on the field for MUS. It looks like it is number 90 something. I'm trying to get a look at who it might be.
And I'm sorry, but if you're a football fan in the state of Tennessee, you've got to have Tennessee Volunteers and Ole Miss Rebels flashbacks right there. Looked like he just got the most random cramp by standing up. Man, that's got to be unfortunate. I've never had that kind of injury, but looks like MUS is having it today when they need a good play.
And trust me, Jake knows all about the injuries. He gets a lot of them all the time, so he's got some experience in that category. But that's going to be Palmer Harris. If he is hurt, we're glad he's okay. He is a junior this year as he walks off the field on his own power. MUS is going to line up for what is a 3rd and 18 at Arlington's 31-yard line, looking to maybe get something going with their 5th quarterback still in the game right now, Jacob Wade.
He looks to pass. He's going for the right sideline. That's a dot. Just incomplete, just a bit short. That's going to be Mikhail McNeil right there on the coverage again. Good coverage there for the young corner.
He had some good back vision there. The ball hit him right in the back, and you know, the coverage is looking good, but it's a little late in the game to bring it out.
Yeah, we are rounding down this game. We are approaching 3 minutes left. MUS has the 4th down, but looks like they are bringing out their kicker. Why not at this point? They're getting very close to that total that they put up last season at 39. This would put them at 38.
Almost perfection for him tonight. Only had the 1 miss earlier in the game. It's going to be Andrew Tinkridi, I believe.
This will be over a 50-yard field goal. It looks all right.
Just a little short.
Right and a little short for him. Why not test it out, though, as you bring out this Arlington offense, who we are not sure who is going to be starting for that. But let's get into some more action for HS Tiger Life. If you want to catch more of what we do, September 9th, Arlington will face Overton in football. September 19th, Arlington will face St. Mary's in volleyball. And September 20th, the following day, Arlington will play Bartlett in volleyball as well. Looks like we're going to see Drew Benjamin get some action today with some of the reserves. Let's see what he can do. In the scrimmage against Ridgeway, he looked like he had a pretty good arm. The offense was pretty open under his leadership. We'll see if he can deliver the ball on the stripe. Marcel Mills running out to the play late. Play clock's at 20, so it doesn't matter, but in a game like this, can't blame him for showing up late. Colin Spears in the backfield. It's good to see him out there. He gets the handoff to the right side. He's got some elusiveness. He gets the 1st down. Wish we could have seen him a little earlier. Looks like he lost the ball maybe. How many times have we seen that in this game?
Too many to count. My eyes have become blind to it. It's just a normal play in football to me now. I'm not fazed by those fumbles by our team anymore. But with just less than 2 minutes to go, Arlington looks to put a couple plays together with new quarterback Drew Benjamin in, the senior.
He throws it out to the outside. Got leveled there at the 38. There's a fight going on. Drew Benjamin getting in there. What is happening in this game? Everybody is so tired. You got David Williams on the ground there getting leveled, and Drew Benjamin came and tried to help him out. All right, and right now we're going to toss again to our sideline reporter, Audion. Sharp-dressed man, what you got for us?
Today we're trying to do our best, but it's just not working out for us. I feel like a lot of our team is fatigued and tired. We just saw a fight break out, which could be caused by a lot of the stress. We have to give some points to MUS, though. They're bringing a real A game today and doing absolute best for what they are trying to do. And yeah, I just got to give props to them. Back to you.
Thank you, Audion. You are spot on, man. They are struggling to do anything at this point. Really an embarrassing performance if you're a Tiger fan, as I said earlier, coming out with a lot of promise. These juniors that came in as seniors looking confident, looking good, but this rekindled MUS team looks like they have more to prove.
And he's also right. Great job, Audion, by the way, that the Arlington team just looks defeated, and this looks like it's going to wrap up this game. But there's a lot to look forward to still, especially with MUS as they start out rekindling where they left off last season when they played Arlington. It looks like they're going to win 35-0 as this game kind of wraps up. But there's still a lot of promise for Arlington as well. It is only the first game in the season. No need to really overreact. There's still a lot of football to go.
And that is going to wrap up tonight's game. Final score, MUS Owls over the Arlington Tigers 35-0, almost a complete replica from last season's total at 39. 210. That's going to do it. That's going to do it for us. But one we want to pitch is our next live stream that we've got. Football versus Overton. That's going to be Friday, September 9th, the week after the Bartlett game. That's going to be at 7 o'clock. So that's the next upcoming football game. But that's a wrap, boys. We will see you next time. MUS on top of this one.